Welcome back.
Welcome.
To what?
To TAE Time Podcast. Customized sign right above my head.
It's TAE Time.
TAE Time.
Welcome
Shit.
to TAE Time.
I wasn't briefed before, okay? This is impromptu shit right here.
That goes to show you how much of a conversation this place is. Everyone just comes in and we all just chat, you know? It's not
That's
scripted.
all it is. It's
not
chatting.
No,
It's chat.
no scripts.
It's not scripted.
So, who are you?
I am the guest on this show tonight, or this evening,
Yeah.
or in the morning.
What's your name?
Oh, it's not live. I forgot. I thought it was live.
No.
Shit. Okay, so my name. Are you guys gonna try pronouncing my name?
We will, but you say it first.
Okay, so my name is Rohit Banerjee. If you're Indian, you know how mainstream that name is. If you're not, then it's a very mainstream name. So it's spelled Rohit, and my last name is, well, you can forget about it, as nobody uses it here. But anyway, so yeah, Rohit. But so I play football, soccer, and one of my friends was asking for a through ball or a pass, and he said Ro. That's the first two letters, and it stuck.
Oh, that's where it came. That's where
it came from.
Origin.
So that's the origins of role. Like way back.
Ro.
When or here? Like
Well, outside India.
Yeah, okay.
Because in India, it's like I said, it's everybody knows that name,
Yeah.
and it was also it's a very famous Bollywood name as well.
Oh.
Just saying, just putting it out there. If you guys
Alright.
want to Google Rohit, but anyway,
You go first.
Rohit.
yeah, Say it again.
Rohit.
Yes, it's labored, but it's good.
Rohit.
That's better.
Oh, she got
It's
it.
okay.
bro.
I mean, my
Wait,
girlfriend.
say it again. Say it one more time.
Rohit.
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 Okay.
He's
I mean,
like,
it's not-
he's
it's
like
not-
that's worse than the first time.
Rohit.
It's not completely right, but it's
Yeah.
okay. So that's why I just say. I mean, my girlfriend took 1 year to say my name properly. That was after we started dating.
Yeah.
So anyway, so yeah, it's a row, like rowing a boat,
Yeah.
like row. And if that is too complicated as well, I go by the universal name. Hey, I respond to that as well. So it's very easy to get my attention.
Okay.
That's good.
I
Tea
love
Time
that.
Podcast.
Yeah.
Tea Time Podcast.
TAE
What's
Time.
Yeah.
TAE Time.
Tea Time. Why is it
Yeah.
not tea?
Because it's talk about everything.
Oh, it's TAE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about everything. You know, Irish tea instead of tea, they say tea. It's kind of
Oh, they
It's
do?
an Irish word.
Yeah, I don't
It's an
drink
Irish
tea,
word
no.
for tea.
Do you guys drink tea?
No,
I don't drink
don't.
tea.
No.
Coffee? No.
No, I
I
don't
hate
drink
I
coffee.
drink coffee, yeah.
She drinks coffee. I don't.
Oh.
It's more to like fill me up. You know,
Mm.
keep me full for longer more
Yeah.
than anything. But yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself, you know, like what do you do? What are you about?
Well, I'm all about the chat.
Hey, this
The
is the
chat,
perfect place to
the
be
chat.
then.
That's the perfect place.
Tea time. Okay, so I come from India.
Yeah.
What part? What part?
I mean, it wasn't that difficult, right? I mean, do you guys think I could be some style of
yeah,
Latino?
here's the thing. You could literally pass off as Romanian. Like if you would have just been quiet, walk around the street, I would have probably labeled you as Romanian.
So if I'm being shady, or okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
But
You can. So if you don't want anyone to know, you can just be like, yeah, I'm just Romanian.
okay.
Yeah.
do your best like kind of American accent as
Oh, I don't do accents. Like this is my only accent.
No,
But I
no.
make fun of accents.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
I'm better at that. I'm
Yeah.
better at making fun of accents. I mean, it's a bold statement coming from a brown boy making fun of accents, but I mean, it is what it is. So I grew up in India. So I am ethnically from the northeast part of India, which is a state called West Bengal. That's where my family's from. But I wasn't born there. But I speak the language and
Okay.
I know the culture. But I grew up in North India. It's a place called Lucknow. It's a very ghetto city, but it's still, I mean, it's okay now. But when I
Okay,
was growing,
yeah.
it was really
It was
ghetto.
different, yeah.
I mean, if you tell you're from Lucknow to anybody else, like a guy from Mumbai or Delhi, they'll be like, oh, he's from the village. But it's a state capital, and now it's doing well, and it's cleaner and prosperous, or at least it seems so. But it's nice. So I grew up there, and I'm an only child, so I'm getting all
Like
the
me.
inheritance. Exactly. We got the family money now.
You don't have to split it with anyone. Yeah, I have
Exactly.
two brothers. I gotta split
Actually,
that.
I always wanted a younger brother or a sister or an older sister. I'll tell you why in a minute. Why I
Yeah,
wanted an older sister and a
It's
younger
oddly
brother.
specific.
Yes, I'm very specific. Yes, but then as I grow older, I realized no, like this is
You're
good.
happy.
Like,
This
actually,
is-
I'm good.
yeah,
you know what?
we
Actually,
maintain the status quo, and this is really good. You know, and then and I studied in an all boys school. So personality development was zero for the longest time. Like no finesse. And it's also because I can talk to you guys like this, and it's easy and comfortable. But I'm 28 now. When I was 22, 23, I had no chat.
Ooh,
no chat.
No chat at all.
Interesting.
No chat.
No
And
chat.
it's
to anyone or just the opposite gender?
you can forget the opposite gender. Opposite gender was Lamborghini. I can't even drive a car, and you're handing me a Lamborghini. You know what I mean? So I mean, the main reason I think I attribute it to being in a boys' school.
Okay.
And no women interaction, and I think we need women interaction to
Absolutely agree with you.
But did you have much friends in school?
Yeah, guy friends, yeah.
Okay.
Guys are friends with everybody because everybody's in the same boat.
Yeah,
Everybody's
exactly.
personality
Yeah.
is, I mean, if you put us in front of people we don't know, I'm like, oh, shit, what do I say?
Yeah.
So all of us are the same. So anyway, but then, as you grow up, you realize you need women in your life because I believe they're inherently wired to handle situations better, especially situations that they see for the first time.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I mean, it's fine because also from experience, because I've met 19-year-old girls who are more or as mature as I am right now at 28. I haven't met a 19-year-old dude who's not an idiot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
What?
I think it's just kind of like due to the fact that like boys are just like, we have no need at the time to grow up like that, I feel.
I was going to ask you guys, like, why do you think that is? Why do you think that women are a little bit more mature, faster?
Well, I mean, on the whole, so, more often occasionally you would have women go down the crazy or the loco path. But on the whole, I think women handle situations better. They have more composure than men in general. Because I think guys act out.
They do.
They're impulsive. They're very impulsive. And they would do things, they would not stop and think, oh, how is it going to look like 5 days from now, when I'm well fed and well rested and I'm going to look back at this. So that's what I learned from women too, and it's very interesting because different women react to the same situation in slightly different ways, but all of them are, in some way a right way to react, or it's a dignified way to react.
I wonder if it's just due to the fact that they're more empathetic, so they're more in tune to being able to understanding.
Yeah. Do you feel like, despite that, do you feel like women are more emotional than men?
No, guys are highly emotional. It's just you don't see it on their face a lot because guys don't tear up that quickly.
Yeah.
So I think
they're not
emotions,
expressive, but they feel
exactly.
it.
I mean, I'm very expressive. I chat. I chat with. I would express what I feel. I mean, people. That's where I also sometimes maybe because when I cross cultural boundaries, you need cultural appropriation to. I mean, not being like racist or stereotypical. I mean, that's an extreme, but more like subtle differences. And that's how I realized, and I learned it sort of the hard way, because I just said whatever came to my mind to people who are obviously like my friends at the least. Like I'm not walking up to a random person and telling them how I feel. But I mean, the cultural appropriation was also a part of my journey across India, US, and now Ireland.
Exactly.
So so I know like little things here and there, and most of the things because my grooming or my background is from India. And especially North Indians would know what I'm talking about. We don't use courtesy words. So like sorry, thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate you. Thank you for holding the door open for me. I appreciate you taking the time. We don't say all this. But there is a beautiful thing to it as well, because to us, courtesy words are not just words, but they are feelings. So you might have had people who are confused by the Indian head movement, and different types of movement, so that's how we express. It's more of a feeling. Like I live with I didn't notice we had the head movement until I moved out. I lived with my dad for the longest, and now I realize that he has that head movement.
Okay.
My
What
mom
made
too,
you
but it
realize? What was the point of realization?
Other people telling me you guys have head movements.
People said that to you, okay.
Yeah.
And then you are like, okay, that actually you're noticing that this is actually how it works and how it's coming through. So like then on that whole topic of like things in which you have in India? Like when you're growing up, obviously culturally wise, you're saying like you have this like whole sense of like you don't really say courtesy and stuff like that. But like, what other things like are very typical for you growing up in India? Like especially like how long did you live in India before you moved?
23 years.
Plenty time.
Like you're essentially an adult, so like
my whole grooming is North Indian. So I think and I do things like how a North Indian would.
Yeah.
And we are, like I said, so Koresh was like, and we are also kind of rough with each other, especially if you are friends. Then, you know, like, we were a bit rough with, how we treat each other. Like, because we are friends. So I feel like I can say anything. I can insult him.
Yeah.
I can do whatever I want. But that's why, because when I went to the US, it's like a very good example is how we text. When I say I'm rough with my friends, it's like how I text. I'm like, I'll just text them, give me this, give me that. Not, can you give me this, please, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Like, I won't form the whole sentence. I'll just tell him what I want, and he'll tell me what he wants or what he feels like.
Does this kind of, expression, does it continue into the workplace as well?
No, workplace is very professional. Workplace is more... Because there's something on the line there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Because when you're friends, you know your friends. It's not like he's going to be your friend tomorrow. It's not like that. But I'll give you an example. So I came to the US and there was this guy. By the way, this guy, the guys that take money and don't borrow money and they won't return it. Like
the
small
leeches,
amounts.
The leeches.
Well, yeah, leech. But they would borrow like $20, $40, like $40, $60, and they won't return it to you until you ask them like 10 times.
Yeah.
Like this guy, and if you see me, you know who I'm talking about. And so he took like $40 off of me, which is not a lot of money, but we were students, and from an Indian economy, $40 is a lot.
Yeah, exactly. That's a lot of money.
He took $40 from me, and I kept asking him, like, can you pay me back? Can you pay me? And I thought it was just me. But then he took money from other friends too, and he didn't return any one of them back.
Ooh.
And this guy's going to be a software engineer in the US. It's not like he's not going to be able to afford $40. I mean, come on. So he didn't return $40 to me. So what I did was, in my North Indian self, I just told him $20 Venmo. Venmo is like Revolut. It's like an online app in the US. So I just told him $20 Venmo. That's all I said in a text. Like, there's nothing before the text. Hi, how are you doing?
No.
You know what I mean? So that's
cushion.
how rough, yeah.
Yeah, no cushion.
So he was so offended. And that's when he told me. Then I'm like, but bitch, you have my money. Like, just give it back. But anyway, then I could see my fault to it. That, I can be a bit more polite in asking the money back.
Yeah.
But I think in that scenario, I feel like you're in the right. You already asked a couple of times. So at that stage, just send me my money right now.
But you know what I did? Because he's the one who you can just, like, please, you cannot be sweet with him and get money back. You know what I did?
Yeah, he just takes
So
advantage of you.
I became friends with him. I was friends with him, and then when we went to a point where I had to tell him that, my account is in negative. So US bank accounts supported negative credit at the time.
Yeah.
And so I told him it's in credit, bro, and I need lunch money and stuff like that. So then he transferred me $40. So basically I had to extort $40 out of him. and then this is not the end of it. And then one day he meets me and he said, can you return my $40 back? Because, I gave it to you because you were in negative. So I tried to help you out. I'm like, your money? But I didn't say anything. I'm like, yeah, sure, I will. So I just did to him what he did to me. I'm like, sure, yeah, I will.
And he never saw his money back.
I mean, I just got I think we were at zero.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like, that's what I'm saying. You evened it out, like, That's so crazy. That he's like, can you give me your money back that I owed you anyway?
And about India, US, like tipping. Did you guys had something about tipping too?
Oh my God, I hate tipping culture in America.
Okay, so why I hate tipping culture in America? I'll give you practical examples. This is not off a feeling.
Let it out.
Right? So in India, you tip if you want to tip.
Okay.
I mean, people
Is it
are
common?
Yeah, if you have money.
Okay, but so would you say like the tipping culture in India would be similar to the tipping culture in like Europe, like Ireland, like you don't really have...
in like Ireland, yeah. It's very similar. Because we have a lot of similarities from the British, as does Ireland.
Yeah.
So, it's funny too. I'm in Ireland right now because I didn't know nothing about Ireland. The only thing I knew about Ireland was from the Harry Potter movie, Goblet of Fire. When there was what's that Irish mascot called?
The leprechaun.
Leprechaun.
Yeah.
There was a leprechaun dancing in the Quidditch World Cup. I don't know if you guys seen that, and the Bulgarians came in. Oh, it's an amazing scene. That's all I knew about Ireland.
Really?
A leprechaun tap dancing. I thought, these guys are. Green is the color, and they like tap dancing. Oh, cool guys. That's all I knew.
Your perception was amazing.
Yeah.
And then I came here, and then I realized, you guys have the same thing with the British as we. So
don't say that to Irish people anyway. So
okay, but you know that thing, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
My friend. Yeah, exactly.
But I realized, now I'm a lot more aware about the Irish culture. I mean, it's a very new money in Dublin, especially.
Do you think like your perception changed of Ireland once you got here for the better or worse?
I didn't have a perception about Ireland.
Okay.
Like,
do you like it?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, it's very peaceful. I like it.
Yeah.
I like the weather though. I mean, people don't like cold, wet weather. I mean, because I grew up in a tropical climate all the time. I mean, we had winters, but in the summers I was sweating so I kind of enjoy not sweating.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I also like snow and snowboarding. It's my new thing. So
would that be very typical of other Indians? Do you think they would also enjoy that, or is that just you hate the heat in India, or do you think most Indians hate the heat in India?
Yeah, it was just me because I noticed I sweat more than average people.
Okay.
So to me, I was always sweating. I was in a college in Goa. Goa is like a very Los Angeles climate.
Okay.
Humid, way more humid than LA for sure. Sunny and humid. So I was sweating there all the time. I'm just sitting there in class and I'm sweating.
Damn.
I can relate.
The pores were open.
So then, what were some of the major differences you found then when you went from firstly India to America? Like the big major differences that kind of shook your world.
Well, so I mean, nothing shakes me like that because I don't give that much of a fuck to kind of shake me.
That is a very good response.
That's a right attitude.
That's a right attitude to have.
So I don't think I'm the kind of guy who, I mean, I will jump and then it's either sink or swim.
Yeah,
I'm that
exactly.
guy.
All right. So then what were the major differences then? You just noticed?
So like tipping. So tipping, in India, you can tip if you want, if you don't want, whatever, you walk away. No bad feelings, nothing personal.
Just like go on, yeah.
In the US, I'll give you 2 examples out of, I don't know how many. I don't tip. Look, in North Indians, we don't pay money. Like we don't want to pay money for the service you have given to me. Like let alone extra money.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like a fresh guy from Lucknow, right?
Yeah. Fresh off the boat,
fresh off the boat. Yeah, in Los Angeles, I go for a haircut. It's a chain called Supercuts.
Oh, Supercuts.
Americans would know.
Yeah.
And I went there because it's famous. And I went
cheap
there. And
too, as well.
No.
Well, quote unquote, like in comparison to, because I've seen so many like people talk about it. Like even I saw Supercuts over there, but I never went to it because apparently Supercuts just gives you bad haircuts. So I never went there.
Why didn't I meet you 5 years ago? So I went there and there was this lady. She gave me a haircut. I told her exactly what I wanted. I even showed her like pictures of Beckham and stuff. The fade.
Yeah.
She gave me a very bad haircut. It was $30, $30. That's a lot of money for a student. I mean, it's a lot of money now too. So, and then I'm paying through my card, and she's like, "Do you want to add something extra?" I said, "No." And do you want to add five bucks? That's what I'm saying. Like we are rough, North Indians, we straight to your face. And then you want $5 extra? No. Okay, 2. No.
Oh, she didn't stop.
She's like, where are you willing to take
and then I pay with my card. And then there's a weird energy in between us.
Yeah.
That's when my hair started growing, I feel like. That one tipping time when I didn't tip. And there was a bad energy. I think she took it so personally, which I understand now.
Yeah.
If you don't, I mean, that's a personal thing. So anyway, she took it personally and I was like, I could give less of a fuck. Bye. So I left. And then Ubers.
Oh.
Every Uber trip is at least 10, 15, 20 bucks.
Yeah.
I used to travel around a lot at the time, taking Ubers. I hated the bus for some reason. A lot of creepy people in the bus in the US compared to
Europe. But sure, like California, LA, like has terrible public transport system because the public transport system isn't really made for the general public. So.
The French people were so mad in LA. Like, none of the buses are on time. Like, why are they lying to us? Anyway. So there was this. So Uber, I never tipped, and I think Uber drivers you can leave a comment or rate the customers, right?
Yeah, like you rate them, but the drivers also have a secret rating system for the passengers, and then it like gives you a rating, so they're likely to take you or not based off your rating.
And I think someone could leave a comment or something too, because for months I took Uber rides and I never tipped a single one. Then suddenly I took an Uber to the airport and I leave the cab and everything is okay. And then, because in Uber you can tip after the ride is done. You can tip the next day or the day after. And I go to the airport, I get my boarding pass and I'm waiting and I see a big paragraph of text from Uber. I'm like, what? What happened? Is my card declined or something?
Yeah.
It was the Uber driver who had texted me a big paragraph about how and why I should tip Uber drivers and how it is a common courtesy. And I'm pretty sure someone had left a comment for me because it was very, like, he took the time to explain to me and why I should tip.
So it's definitely like something like a lot of people have complained that this person doesn't tip, and then he's like, maybe this person does not understand as to in America you have to tip.
So he literally explained to you why you have to.
Yeah, he said it's common courtesy.
Yeah,
I don't remember. I didn't read. Like I said, don't give no fuck. I just read the first line. It's common courtesy to tip, and they were like, "Bro, I don't." First of all, I'm not that big into texting, as you can tell. And he had sent. I mean, I'm not gonna see you again, bro. I'm not gonna tip. Yeah. I mean, so tipping was one, and then another funny story is I went to the US. I'm not a religious guy. But I, it's like how from generation to generation, some religion is passed on, but not too much. Like your grandparents are the most religious, your parents are, and we, as in, I mean, I am not that much. So I went there, and what attracts students? How do you get a group of college students together? Free food, right? So the story is about how a church tried to recruit me, and it is. So the backstory is I have a family friend and their daughter went to the US a year before, and in 6 months, but she went to the Midwest. So my US experience is more West Coast, more international,
so more chill.
Yeah, Los Angeles.
Because Midwest is very religious, like Texas, all that, very religious.
Yeah. Okay, so bring it back to that. The daughter of a family friend, very close family friend. Like we have pictures together from when we were born. Like, but she's I think a year younger to me. I don't remember. And she went to Tennessee, I think. Yeah. She went to the US. In 6 months, she fell in love with a guy, and they got married.
Holy shit!
She has a daughter now.
6 months.
Which is okay. I mean, I don't have anything. But then I was following her on Instagram. I don't know if she's on Instagram now, but she was on Instagram at the time. And this is a girl who is exactly the same background as me.
Okay.
And she's a Hindu by religion on paper.
Yeah.
And then she's posting stuff like, Jesus has saved me. Come to the shrine to get saved. Like the.
Yo.
I mean, but good for her. I have nothing against her because good for her. I mean, she found religion awesome. But all this stuff is being seen by my mom. And my mom has this thing. Oh, she went to the US. She got brainwashed. She went to the church. Blah, blah, blah. And my son is going to the US now. Oh, my God. And it's my only child. That's what she had before I went to the US.
Yeah, she's like, oh, my God, he's going to get brainwashed. He's going to become a religious nut. He's going to be crazy. Jesus, conservative, gun shooting. Jesus loving.
So this is what my mom has in her head, in her subconscious already.
Right.
I went to the US and, I go into the college. And I go from an all-boys school to UCLA.
Oh, that was your first experience in like a mixed school?
I had 2 years in a mixed school.
Okay.
But in India, it's very academic. Like my family's very academic. So I didn't have, I had girlfriends in India too, but you have to do your career first. You have to get your education done. Yeah. There's a lot of academic pressure, especially in my family.
It's very similar to Nigeria, where it's very like school first is the most paramount. Everything else doesn't matter.
Like so much so that I'm not kidding. Like when I was a kid, I thought I grew up playing cricket. There was a very famous Indian cricketer, Sachin Tendulkar. He's like the Messi of cricket. Okay. Or he was, he retired. So I thought that this guy must be really good in calculus, and his differential and integral calculus must be off the hook because he's playing for the Indian cricket team. So he has to be really good in studies. Because in my head, every profession is related to math and physics and studies and engineering somehow. Like that's how academic my family is. But anyway, so then I
Is the
came
player
to
academic? I'm just wondering.
the what?
Is the player? he?
No.
Oh, he's
I,
not.
I actually asked my dad. I was, I think, 8 or 10 years old. And I asked my dad, like, how good do you think he is at maths? Like, is he really good? Like, how good do you need to be to get to the Indian cricket team?
Yeah.
Like, please tell me that. I just need to be that good. You know, I don't want to be like a top 100 in the country. Just like, I want to be, you know, I want to play. Because I always want to do something in sports. Like, I'm a very good footballer, or I was at the time.
Yeah.
But I started playing so late. I started playing when I was 16, 17.
Oh, you're very late. Yeah.
And by the time, but then I was still good. I had some good 4 or 5 years of good fitness and stuff, and my muscles could, take the load of playing 6 days, 7 days a week. But if I started early, I'm pretty sure I could have done something in sports. You know,
Yeah,
if not a good
absolutely.
player, but in management or
something
something.
like
Because
that.
in Europe, you have a lot of opportunity. At least
the
you'll have
infrastructure's
connections.
there. Yeah.
My mom said no, so I am an engineer now.
That's what happened to you with YouTube.
And lots of, but I think that's just kind of this situation, kind of like, especially when it's like India and Africa, I think we're very academic heavy and everything matters. And it's good, don't get me wrong, but there is a shame to it that a lot of the athletic potential that all those kids can have is kind of like diminished due to the fact of like, the parents are like, fuck sports, just focus on your books instead.
That's what I tell my mom is going to see this at some point. And my dad too. I want to tell them that everyone does something good in their life anyway. You don't need to be good in studies all the time. You know, in my class, out of 50, 60 students in like middle school and stuff, everyone is doing something good.
Yeah.
Or they're on their way to doing something, like even the guys who were like ranked last, because we had a ranking system back then.
Of course.
And so it was pretty intensive. But anyway, so I coming back to the US.
Mm-hmm.
So I came to the US and
You're
then
going to the church for the free food.
the church, yes. So I'm having fun. You know, it's college. We're living in an international dormitory. I'm meeting all these different people from all over the world.
Yeah.
You know, Asians, Latin Americans, Europeans.
Especially UCLA, that's a breathing ground of like just talent from all over the world.
Yeah, and everyone is talented. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Everyone is talented. And I see the athletic level of people there, because I just went with my boots and I just started playing. And then I'm playing with guys who are now in the US senior national team. I played with a couple of guys, like they nutmeg me, like running circles around me. I'm like, damn, these are really good.
But the funniest thing is, like,
professional.
even those guys at that level is like nowhere near as good as like the people on the European like club levels.
I guess,
you know, because it's just such insane thing. Obviously, America's getting a lot better, but like it's just insane but like that's a whole different conversation of how like football is insanely.
Was this like
competitive.
American football or like American
Soccer.
football?
Soccer,
Oh.
yeah.
I'm too tiny for American football.
That's why I was
I'm trying
wondering.
to-
I was like picturing you with the like suit and the helmet
Oh,
on.
no.
Okay.
Soccer,
Okay.
yeah. Football. Have you seen how big those dudes are?
They're fucking
yeah.
massive.
I'm not trying to get tackled by them. And I'm an only child, like I said. I'm not trying
Your
to
mom
do
wouldn't even
something.
let you play it. If you
My
told
mom
her,
wouldn't even let me play soccer. He's like, oh, if someone kicks you, you're going to get hurt.
She's
You should
valid
sit
for that though.
yeah, no.
She's
Even
valid.
there's this guy I knew in the US, Okeem, really cool guy. This guy is Nigerian as well, like, but he grew up, in the US, in Oakland. This guy is like 6'5", fucking huge. He's massive, but he's like, his parents.
African American?
Well, I guess he's African American now, yeah, because he's lived there all his life. But his parents are like from Nigeria, like they immigrated there the same way like my parents immigrated over here, and he is huge, and he's like he was not allowed to play American football, because that's the first thing I asked him. I was like, oh, did you play American football in college? He's like, oh no, my parents would never. He's like, their parents let you? I was like, oh no, like obviously, like he's like, yeah, Nigerian parents do not, like I don't know, terrorists are not letting their kids play because it's just ridiculous. But like I was like, bro, you're freaking huge.
Yeah.
That was wasted potential. Like,
Yeah, it's a pity, really.
Yeah. So, but then you start meeting all these people, and it's amazing. I'm having fun. And also I do study and stuff, but I did that on the side. The main thing began having fun. Because everyone is young. Everyone's in college. Everyone's out there to have a good time. You know?
Yeah,
Even the
exactly.
Europeans, like everyone who's coming all over the world to UCLA is going to have a good time. Like there is no two ways about it. But provided you go out and socialize and all that.
And then
So-
actually, with the whole socializing, did you find it like, because you were like 22 or
No, I was
20
older, 23, 4.
23, 24 when you got there.
Yeah.
How did you feel being 20, 24? Were you a lot older than most people, or were people around your age? And even if you were older, were they
Yeah.
willing to party
So-
with you? Like, how was that?
Yeah. I mean,
dynamic?
if you're in college, then because I didn't look old,
Yeah, exactly.
Because when I was 20. I haven't changed much in the last 5 years, so I look pretty much the same. So it's kind of you blend in. Like unless you look like an uncle, well, that's different.
Yeah.
Then people would be a bit, they'll take 2 steps back. Oh, should I invite him or not? But when you look young, I mean, 20 to 30, I put 20 to 30 in one bracket, and because looks don't change much in 20 to 30.
Yeah.
So it was very easy to blend in that way because nobody thought I was old.
Okay.
But yes, I was older, especially with Europeans, because I couldn't tell how old they were. Like some girls and guys were 19, they didn't look 19. They were easily like 24, 25 because they were tall.
Oh, okay, shit.
So that was a very Asians were tiny, so you could tell that
that they're like
of course they're definitely young. They're in UCLA now. They're definitely, although they don't age much too, but I mean age-wise, everyone was between 20 because we had PhD students as well.
Okay.
So they were pushing 30. Some of them looked a bit old, some of them didn't. So it didn't really matter. It was a very inclusive environment.
I like that.
I think my theory is if you put introverted people, like Europeans who don't go out that much or talk that much, in an environment like that, they would at least try to come out a bit more than they would living,
in Europe.
In Europe.
Yeah, because I guess like the thing about Europe is it kind of lets you settle into your own situation of like being introverted, whereas America, it's very like extroverted focused. Like if you want to get anywhere, you have to be talking to people, socializing. That's how you like connection, networking is a massive thing.
Especially the coasts, the borders of US. I think that's the best place you can be to actually try being a social person. Because there is less judgment. I mean, there is judgment if you meet, the judgmental people.
Yeah, exactly.
But you don't meet a lot, unless you're in a sorority. Different story.
Have you met much people from, fraternities, sororities?
I mean, I don't have friends, but I've heard stories.
Okay.
So my girlfriend there was in a sorority, but not that involved in a sorority. We've just been to parties and stuff. But it's just so much happening, you don't have time. And there's so many people. You don't have time to stop and focus on one person.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So
Tell us about the party life there, because I know from what you've shared in our conversations, it does sound wild. So tell us.
Yeah, I mean,
Some
it
stories.
depends on, because I mean, US I feel caters to every flavor of party that you want. You can be a techno head. You can be into hip hop and R&B, or you can be more into house music. So it has everything, but most of the music kind of comes from there, I guess.
Yeah.
So it gives you everything. So you can find your clique, or you can find your niche there, and you can move into stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, for me, I was always into clubbing and partying, but again, I didn't pay attention because I was in such an academic environment.
Yeah.
I don't pay much attention to then. I partied a couple of times in college, but our college had a 10:30 p.m. curfew. So we had to go. So we basically didn't ever really party.
Oh, weird. Wait, so like you had to be like you couldn't
Inside, we were in campus.
Oh,
It was
because
a
you guys
closed
were
campus.
in campus.
Yeah,
And
and,
it was closed.
yeah,
So they
if you-
closed the gates after 10:30.
Yeah.
Did you guys party inside?
No alcohol allowed inside.
Oh.
Interesting.
We had
so living off campus is what you'd want to do if you wanted to party.
No, there was no option.
You
You
could
have to
only
live. Yeah, even faculty and students, we all live on campus.
So is that why UCLA is massive? Because everyone has to live on campus.
No, not
talking
UCLA.
about
No.
India.
I'm talking about India.
Oh, India. Sorry.
yeah.
I was so confused there for a second. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
So India College closed campus. You have to live inside, and if you leave the campus, you have to come back by 10:30 p.m. So you can't really party, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
So and I didn't think much about it, and then I worked in India for a year in Bangalore. It's like the Silicon Valley city. So in Bangalore, partied a little bit, but I was in that transition phase from bachelor's to master's, and then you have to develop a skill set and get a job. So I was because I didn't do anything in 4 years. I just played football and I was in the dance club and.
You were in a dance club.
Yes.
What did you dance?
Freestyle mostly.
Oh, cool.
Do you have any videos?
But I was in I think I showed it to you guys.
Yeah.
I don't remember this.
Yeah.
Adds it into the podcast. I'm just kidding.
Oh, yes. I look completely different. I had long hair by then. Nobody recognized me. But anyway, I mean, looking back at it now, I could have done better. Because again, I didn't give much of a fuck, it's choreography and stuff, but I'm enjoying, but
Yeah.
I'm not.
Exactly.
I could have been a bit more disciplined, of course, but I was, so young at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, but young as in like developmental.
Developmental,
In the
yeah.
phase of development, I was very young. Because coming from an all-boys school, just being thrown into that mix. So it takes time. And my coping mechanism was being the arrogant guy.
Oh.
You know, like I'm too good. Because I
At
was
least
good.
at least you can recognize that, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but it's also because I was good. It's not like, you know, I was a hollow tree and just, you know, barking at a hollow tree.
Yeah.
But I had skill, and you could see, but then you also need the other part, you know, that you have to be
exactly.
good with people in a team.
Yeah, exactly.
So yes, I do recognize that I was very arrogant, and I did talk back to people. Like I said, we don't really have filters, so I just, you know, talk back to them. So not appreciated by a lot of the people, but it was fine. It's whatever. So it went fine, and then so didn't focus on partying, and then came to UCLA. The first thing was so many women in the campus.
So many women.
So many. It's incredible. In my city, so first of all, I grew up in a city where you don't really see good-looking women in the streets, or women in general.
Okay.
It's very male-dominated for, I don't know why, but...
That's interesting. Even on the streets, just lots of males.
I mean, you know girls if you go to like schools, and you know, if you have friends of friends, and you know them and you can meet up with them. But in general, you don't see them. You don't see strangers or good-looking strangers. Oh, she's good-looking.
Is it because the women weren't really allowed outside of the house?
No, I mean, they're allowed, but it's so many men.
Oh.
So you don't see women.
Too many men.
Yeah, I mean,
Too many men.
Yeah, and in engineering colleges, that's the same story. We were 700 dudes and 30 girls.
Holy shit.
Wow.
And then but when you are a fresher, you know, you're kind of shy. So the women are more interested in the senior dudes. So out of the 30 women, maybe, you know, like you like 2 or 3 or 5, but they're all talking
all 30.
or all 30, but they're all talking to like senior dudes.
Of course.
And then you're just standing there. So, you know, like you don't have a lot of female interaction. But then you come to UCLA and so many women and everyone's hot for some reason. Like it actually feels like UCLA has a hot quota.
But like once again, this is like something I've talked to my friends about. Like LA is like the World Cup when it comes to good looking, because you have to of good looking people. Because you have to remember, people literally come all around from the world to go to LA for like some kind of like modeling or something career.
No, but these are all students.
Yeah.
I know, but still, like you still have so many people coming from all around the world into a specific location, and because there's so much diversity there, you're bound to have a higher percentage of good-looking people. I find.
Did you submit a picture when you applied to UCLA?
No.
Okay, so maybe they don't have a screening then.
Oh shit, yeah. But it felt like they did. I don't know, in a weird way.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Except barring the engineering school. Because engineering school...
Yeah, engineering school, I think they don't give a fuck.
Maybe I did. Maybe
But because like a lot of schools in the for like you have to do like interviews and stuff like that, you know, to get into it. So like they do have some idea of what you look like. So, you know, I would not be surprised if there was like low key, there's some like sexist things where like they're like, well, it's not even sexist because they probably want good looking guys too. So they want good looking people all over the place.
Yeah, probably. But I mean, it's just so many, and they're just, you know, walking around chilling, and the chill lifestyle, you know, you can chill in cafes or, you know, chill at restaurants, and not always work.
Yeah,
study,
exactly.
study. I mean, we had that inside my engineering school because we had a lot of Asians and Iranians. They work a lot.
Yeah.
They work a lot. I can't work that much. So I stayed out most of the time. So, and I met them, and I was meeting so many people. And I was meeting so many beautiful people that I thought, oh, she's good looking.
How was that? How was that for you? Did you start dating?
No, not really. I mean, it was so fast. Like I said, it's so many people. And like I didn't really date anybody until I met my girlfriend at the time, and it was at the end of when we were supposed to graduate. So it was at the end. So I didn't date it because your mind doesn't go there, because you have, you know, homework, assignments, and then you're trying to earn money on the side and take care of your thing, like get your shit sorted before you can
go do anything.
Do the extracurriculars. Even in football, like I auditioned, I went to the trials for the football team, like the soccer team, and then I went to the final round, and then I just kind of didn't play in the fourth round properly.
Yeah.
Because I can't devote that much time, because they were going to be flying across the country and stuff. and play and it just didn't like and it was $500 or $600 for the quarter that if you want to enroll in the team.
Oh shit! Yeah,
it's like
you
a
gotta pay.
self-funded team.
Yeah.
It wasn't the main varsity team.
Yeah.
That players come into with scholarships. It was the second, the other.
The B
Okay.
team. So you have to like actually fund it yourself.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, this is not happening. I mean, I can just play for fun in the evenings. So that's what I did. And but it was fun. And then we were going out. We were going to clubs and Vegas. Vegas is right there. Went to Vegas, but I would say this about Vegas clubs though: their speakers are something different. I still feel their bass sometimes. Like it goes through your chest.
Was it not like one of those ones that's too loud? That it's too
No,
loud
that's
that
the
it
thing.
hurts your
That's the
ears?
thing. No, it's not too loud. It's smooth but strong.
Oh, okay.
It's like that whiskey.
Definitely an experience.
No, honestly,
And-
like, but then did you find that maybe because you're older and like I know a lot of, I guess you would hang around. Is this sophomores? Is that what it would be like? The people who are on this in their final years, like they're older,
Senior?
like seniors.
I think it's freshman, sophomore, junior,
all right.
senior.
Yeah, so senior, like, would you say like those are the people you mostly hang around with because those are the ones that could go clubbing? Because the other ones, like, they can't
Well,
drink until they're
so
21.
I was masters.
Yeah.
So we were only 2 years, but I didn't hang out with my master's like students. It was mostly in the dorms that I was living.
Okay.
And of course we had 19-year-olds and 21 is the limit. You can't go in unless you're 21 in the US. Pretty strict about it. Yes, so we had a lot of 19-year-olds and 20-year-olds who could not go, but they would just pre-drink with us and not go to the club if we are going to the club after.
Yeah.
And nobody felt bad about anything, when you get become two good friends and in a group, and then you expect the other person in the group to, oh, can you come with me? And if you don't come, like sometimes you just don't want to go out, but your friend in the group is like, no, come.
Yeah.
And then if you don't go, then they feel bad.
Yeah, exactly.
There was nothing like this.
Nothing like that. Okay.
And also because it's college and you have so many
You have
people
so
to
many
hang out
options.
with.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So let's take you to then today, right? You're in Ireland. How did you end up here?
Oh, yeah. So I moved to Ireland for love.
Oh.
Oh.
Don't sound too happy about that, no.
Oh, no, I am happy.
Look at his face.
Like I said, we are not very expressive. This is my happy face. If
You guys get that?
If I make my smiley face, it's like a creepy face. Where is the
Do
fun?
it. Do it.
I'm the same. I can't smile properly on command.
Yeah, right?
I look creepy. It's like, it's just weird.
Do it the camera.
Don't know how to make faces. That's why I kind of appreciate, Instagram models and stuff. Especially the guys who know how to do it.
Like those guys. I'm always like, how do you know how to smile like that? Because I try to smile like that and I just look like a creep. Like,
Yeah.
But is it like you either got it or you don't?
no, I think it's a learned skill.
Okay.
I think people who aren't like I was the same. I wasn't expressive growing up, and I still really aren't. But like one thing, I think people who aren't expressive never learn the skill to like be expressive on demand. So like people who are like used to smiling a lot since they're a kid and didn't have a problem with it, they can obviously, because you're so used to doing it, you can just do it on command because you know how you look like or how you do it. Whereas my problem is I need to be able to see myself before I can like make the right face. Like if I can like I tweak my face until I'm like, yeah, that's the right position. But obviously when someone is taking a photo of you, you can't do that. So I'm just like, how the fuck do I look right now?
Do I look stupid?
That's why I do neutral faces. Like
Yeah, no,
happy, sad, angry.
exactly.
Everything is the same.
But yeah, no. So you're here in Ireland.
Yes,
For
I'm
love,
here
for
for
love.
love.
for love.
Yeah, because philosophy is because I've been always taught about academics. You find a job, you go where the job takes you.
Yeah.
But I don't really live for the job because I know it's very replaceable. Like, I mean, if you leave or if they sack you, I mean, you're replaced in like 2 seconds, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so that has no weightage to me. Like, I don't put that in high regard. Of course, it pays the bill and it's nice because the skill set. But at the end of the day, it's a job.
Yeah.
So for me, I went to the US, of course, to work, to earn money, to have that experience, of course. But initially it was getting a job and studying and getting a master's. But then it transitioned to it became more of living life.
Okay.
Because when you see other people live life, then you're like, oh, I can do that too. This is easy. I don't have to live like that in that academic pressure.
Yeah, you
know
don't have to
what I
like
mean?
live to work.
Yeah, you don't have to live to work. Because I've interned in India. Like, I didn't work full time, but I've interned and I see how they work. I'm like, I don't want to be like that 10 years from now. So, and also because we also have the freedom to move. I mean, once you have kids and a mortgage, you ain't going nowhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, so you're a free bird, you fly, and also your parents are healthy, young, because there's going to come a point when they're old and you need to take care of them. So you can't be too far away from them. And I mean, I need to take care of my parents when they're old because I'm an only child, of course.
Yeah.
And
would you never put them in a home or something like that?
Oh, no. That's like the
stigma right
that's,
there.
Yeah, that's the most disrespectful thing you can do to your parents. Yeah. And I don't want to do that. They've done so much for me. So the only thing I can do, the minimum is I can reciprocate. That's the minimum I can do.
Yeah.
But anyway, so then, I mean, US, I enjoyed it. And then I worked in Portland for a while. And I have to say this, I had the best time of my life.
In Portland.
Because couple of things, because it was a normal time. It was during COVID. Mm-hmm. So I moved and worked there during peak COVID. And the friends I made, the people I hung out with, they were the best because they went out of the way to include me and to make friends and to make my life enjoyable in a city where I didn't know anybody.
Especially during the COVID time as well.
And during COVID, yeah. And because I was with my girlfriend and we were doing long distance, and from 2 months it became 4 months and then it became 6 months, and then you have no end in sight.
Yeah.
So, it's like from that point of view, it's a very tumultuous time. And plus I didn't know anybody in the city. Mm-hmm. Plus, Portland has like really dark winters like this, like with sunsets and stuff. So, but the people I met there made my life so much easier. They didn't have to because all of them grew up in Portland or they were there for a long time. They had their own friend circle. They didn't need me to come into their circle, but they were so inclusive. So that's why Portland has a very special place in my heart.
Oh, that's great.
Just because of that.
Sweet.
That's very nice. And, like that's where I really... And also I worked in Portland because in LA I was busy with my college too. Mm-hmm. So in Portland I could really like enjoy life.
Yeah, you had the money, financial backing to actually enjoy life.
And I was answerable to nobody. I had my own apartment and everything, and it was very nice.
What was the price of the apartment in Portland actually?
It's similar, but you get a bigger space. Like here in 1,600, 1,800 you get a box. Yeah. But you get a bigger box in Portland. And you have your own. I mean, depends on where you live. I mean, so not everything is good about Portland. Portland's got its bad things too. There's a lot of homelessness and guns and stuff like that. Like I'll give you an example. Like there's a club, Shake in Portland, very hip hop club, R&B. It's very nice. Got shot up twice before they brought in like full force security. And I mean, this is a sad story, but I played with a guy, footballer. I used to play with a football guy. He got fatally shot in Florida.
Holy shit.
Just recently. So, not everything is good, of course. But like, I was lucky enough to have a fantastic time. Okay. And it was very nice. I mean, LA was nice. So I've been very lucky actually, since I moved out of India. I've met like really amazing people. Like even in Europe too. Yeah. Including you guys.
Oh, thank you.
TAE Time. Yeah. So yeah, I've been very lucky. So I can't remember a lot of weird or people that I didn't get along with.
Okay.
And it's mostly because I've been to international cities, I feel. But people have been really nice to me, and I haven't really experienced like racism or stereotyping. Well, okay, I'll come to that. Well, not exactly, but it's slightly different. But on the whole, it's been an amazing, just moving out of India. Mm-hmm. And the whole, I've been out like, 5 years now? 6 years, 5 years, 6 years. It has been really amazing. Like I've met really good people. But then through those people, I've also realized not everyone in the country is like them. I mean, obviously I'm stating the obvious.
Absolutely, yeah.
But it's just that. I mean, I can give so many examples, like... Because in Europe, I feel Europe is a bit more... There's a bit more judgment, I feel, here.
Okay.
In the countries...
I feel like it's a bit more cold and judging?
No, I mean, US is like that too. If you go to the Midwest and, it's there everywhere. But like in Europe, I feel like there is a bit more judgment. So people have a bit more of a filter on their wall up. So they're not free,
Okay.
They're your... acquaintances more than your actual friends. So for me, a friend is someone who you can say things too, without thinking.
Absolutely.
And
I agree with you.
they're not getting offended. Even if they get offended, in 2 seconds they're over it and stuff like that. But here, I feel like it takes a while to break that wall or take that filter.
Do you feel like you've broken a wall with people that you've met?
So my story was different. So I moved here because of love. So again, the philosophy was you can find work anywhere, but you only have one lobster in the sea for everybody. So you grab that claw. So my claw came to Dublin. So
you moved to Dublin with it.
Yeah, I mean, we mutually decided. I mean, we were looking for a country that we could live and work both at the same time. US had its complications with her. She couldn't. But I was already there. But anyway, so we just came to Dublin and we just took a decision together. And we came here, and then all the people I met was through her. So she is French, Norwegian. So she's like white, blonde, blue eyes. So I feel like I have a head start on making friends here. Because if I'm by myself,
it'd be a lot different story, I would say.
Yeah.
Especially since you're not in the like college environment where you can like find friends. You're in the working environment where it's not, everyone is kind of like clocks out, bye, never talking to you guys until Monday kind of thing.
Like, because that's why I say like Portland is very special to me, because they knew me for me. You know, there was no trump card or like she really, like my girlfriend is really my kryptonite. I bring her and everyone likes me. Like I could see it, like especially in Europe, and I don't blame people be feeling weird around me, because there is this thing, I don't know if there's a word for it in English. It's sort of on the lines of PTSD. Okay. It's not racism, it's not stereotyping, but like when I come in a room, like in a house party, and some girl sees me, and then previous memories come back of her encounter with a girl.
So it's like prejudgment, like kind of thing. Exactly,
yeah, but it's not. But in the US, like I met this Palestinian girl, and like it's a very unstable country, and she had to flee Palestine and come to the US, and she had her own story of struggle. Yeah. So she was talking to this one Indian guy on Facebook, and the guy was seemingly, like supporting her morally and emotionally, and taking. But then eventually it just became plain hitting on her, and then he became a bit creepy and possessive. Like, why aren't you? You said you're gonna be online at 8 a.m. Why aren't you online at 8 a.m.? I need to talk to you. So it became. A little bit traumatic, because from the girl's point of view, she's already going through some trauma, and then she found a guy online that like seems to understand her and comfort her, and it's nice. And then suddenly he becomes so
toxic
intense,
and stuff like that. Yeah. Exactly.
So and then I went to that house party, and for 3 hours we didn't talk to each other because there were other people. And then at 2 a.m. we started talking, and that's the first thing we talk about. Because she told me, like, when I saw you, when you guys came in, and I came in with like pizzas and stuff, like I was a happy guy, bro.
Yeah.
I came in with pizzas and cold drinks and stuff. And anyway, so she saw me, and then she said, when I saw you come in, and then I had this experience, so I thought about it. That's example 1. Example 2, a 30-year-old masseuse, a professional masseuse. Like a pretty girl, blonde hair, very fit, very nice, very friendly. And I'm talking to her, and she was a mutual friend, and I'm talking to her, and she's a professional masseuse, and one of her clients is a 50-year-old Indian uncle with wife and kids. And he came on to her. I don't know what kind of, he's watched something on the internet, some sort of porn clips and stuff, and he's like, oh, it's okay. But the guy has been working here in the US for a long time.
Oh, so you think he'd know better?
And she and he came on to her, and she was again traumatized, because like for her, she's just doing her job. And again, she told me this because I brought her, although I don't look like a 50-year-old. Yeah. But it just came off as. But I realized, like in the US, because the environment is so inclusive, like they're at least willing to have a dialogue about it.
Okay, exactly.
Tell you at least.
Yeah, and tell me about it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess like in Europe, no one wants really, like, on the first time meeting someone, want to bring that up on and say like, hey, you. Like,
I don't think they ever would, though.
Yeah, like Europe is very.
Ever be brought up.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they would. They would be like, whatever. Yeah. I don't need to be friends with this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though we might have the same energy, and even though we could be best friends.
Yeah, exactly.
But just because you look like a certain way, and I've had bad experience. Yeah. I just won't make the effort. Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
That's what I mean by a bit more. It's more. It's a little less inclusive, I feel, and it's difficult to make. Like, for example, like about Germans. Like I haven't met a fun German. Well, let me rephrase that. I haven't met a German that is on the same wavelength, on the same vibe when they are not drunk.
Okay.
When they're sober,
Okay.
you know. And but they're all nice, you know. They're all nice, and you can have conversations, and you know there will be acquaintances, and you know like friends that you meet like once a month, twice a month.
Yeah, have a little
but
chat.
They won't be like, you can't talk to them $20 Venmo, you know, like you can't text them like that. You need to form sentences because you know there's that filter.
Yeah.
There is, how do I explain it? There is some, you can feel that there is a wall.
Yeah,
up.
there's this little like mesh barrier
Yeah.
that you know that you can feel. That's like, you know, you're like, oh, we can't really get
and
too
it's
close.
it's very difficult to be, and if they already have a group, it's very difficult to get in that German group, like just me and like 10 Germans, like how I was in Portland. That is not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And you can take the same thing that I just said, copy paste Germans with Norwegians.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing. In Norway, if I had gone to college instead of US in Norway, if I don't have a plug in Norway, if I don't know anybody in Norway, I'm not making friends, I'm making acquaintances. It is so difficult to get into their
Friend
group,
groups.
especially if you look so different than them. I mean, that's of course a factor. I mean, people say it doesn't matter and, you know, it's 2022 and stuff like that. But you can tell. I mean, if you look different, you can tell
Absolutely.
that
agree.
there is this mesh, like
Yeah.
you said.
Yeah, but then you said that, you know, like your girlfriend has managed to make friends and whatever, and then bring you along, so you become friends with them, and then
Yeah.
her being like Norwegian, do you feel like she's different? Because clearly she's very able of making friends and
Yeah, I mean,
being
she's
open.
like she grew up in Paris, but she has moved around a lot. So her family is very international, and they are very culturally educated. Her whole family. So she was brought up in a way which doesn't confine them to a French bubble or a
Yes.
Norwegian bubble.
Yeah.
So they have crossed boundaries and countries, and they're very reasonable, and they're very practical, and no bias. That, oh, if I don't like this, I will still study about it, but I still hate on it. They're not like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like very objective, which is very difficult to do because
It is very difficult to do, yeah.
inherently you are biased.
Everyone
You have to
has
be
some
biased.
form of bias. Exactly.
So, but she's very international. Like I didn't know she was French, and I still don't believe she has a French accent because her English is very international, so to say. But yeah, I mean, if she wasn't here and I'm moving to Norway, I don't think I'm I'm not having as much fun as I did in the US. And especially in Dublin, because in Dublin there are so many Indians. I see Indians everywhere, but I don't see a lot of Indians in mixed groups. Like
I was just about to say, like, one thing you do tend to do, you see a lot of Indians in Dublin, but they tend to also be with other Indians. They never really usually are. The only Indians I know myself personally are usually Indians who have, like, kind of like in your scenario, who's like come into a group with X person else,
Exactly.
or an Indian person who has been raised up in Ireland, like, you know, like, so they went through secondary school and whatever, college, and they've made friends through. But most Indians I know who have like came here for college or something usually end up stuck with the same group.
in college as well. I remember there were a lot of like Chinese students, Korean students that would stick to themselves and would kind of like, you know, have dinners together and everything, and wouldn't really want to go out and party that much with the rest.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's just kind of like a culture, you know, my culture, it's easier to stick with you.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it happened.
But I mean, it goes both ways, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, of course, we are not, you know, Indians coming out of India are not culturally that appropriate at times. Because, I mean, it's bound to happen. We're going to say things which are going to be a bit weird. Like for me, like the German example that I gave, I make a lot of jokes at times that are not
Savory
that
or
don't cross lines or, you know, international boundaries that well.
Yeah.
So I was just joking about, you know, money and unethical stuff.
yeah.
I was just joking about it. I wasn't even thinking because I was in the flow.
Yeah, you're
and
just-
the
it's just a
person I was making the joke to, I mean, she was enjoying it. I mean, she was laughing like a genuine laugh.
Yeah.
And they were, and I saw the Germans and, you know, Scandinavians, they were not feeling it. And then I was told later that, you know, like you don't make unethical jokes like that because it doesn't go that well with, you know,
With certain groups of people.
Yeah. But it is what it is. So I mean, but then I still have immunity because I have kryptonite.
Yeah, exactly.
I have my kryptonite. But if I didn't have that, I'm not making I'm not, making that girl laugh. I'm never going to meet that girl that I was,
Ever
saying
again.
that to.
You're excommunicated from the group.
Yeah.
Never to be seen again.
Never to be seen.
So anyways, Indian guys will, or even girls will say something which is not appropriate. But then also the person who is on the opposite, the European that they're actually, trying to become friends with, they have to have an open mind too at that time. Because it has to go both ways. I mean, you have to meet in the middle. I mean, you can't expect someone who has never been out of their own country to just go, meet you like 100% of the way.
Exactly, no. But then I guess with all those interactions, kind of like with you going from India to America to Ireland, how do you find it? Especially like one with the way you grew up, pretty much an adult in India, and then you're in America, enjoying that. Even though you're older, you're still enjoying that kind of like college lifestyle, and you also get the
I'm gonna be in college forever.
Yeah, exactly. And then in Ireland, with the way the groups are, the way you have your kryptonite, so on and so. How have you found like the three? Like what would you say are kind of like the things you like, the pros of each one, and maybe some cons of each one in comparison to the others?
I mean, India is my home, really. I mean, I know everything there is to know about it. So it doesn't really fascinate me in a way for me to, spend the rest of my life there.
Yeah.
Because I know the whole book.
Exactly.
Basically. In the US, of course, I mean, US has good and bad things, and then Europe has good and bad things, of course. And US, of course, gave me a lifestyle which it was, the perfect bachelor lifestyle. I mean, if you're even if you're not single, and if you just want to have fun, what I mean, like enjoy life in general.
Yeah.
That's what US gave me. But then, do I want to raise kids in Portland? I don't know about that.
If you actually anywhere in the US, like you're in LA, do you think you'd raise kids in LA?
LA, I might consider. Portland, I'm a bit skeptical. There's way too many drugs and
everything.
I would be scared if my kid is in downtown. I would be legit scared.
Would that not be the same in LA? Because downtown LA is shit.
Well, yes, LA too, but
you need a lot of money to raise your kid in a good environment in LA.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, kids would be expensive, like family wise. If you
have to do the whole preschool, all these things.
Where do you see yourself settling? Do you see yourself settling here in Ireland?
Of the three, which one would you choose to raise kids in?
I mean, it's not a similar comparison because Ireland is really tiny.
Yeah, I guess.
It doesn't match up. But I would consider Europe as a whole.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I would love to live in Europe for the next 5-10 years. I don't know. I mean, I'm happy here because Europe also has a lot of good things. It's more travel, more things to see. A lot of culture. I mean, I feel like India is like a small Europe.
Okay.
Because you switch languages and cultures so fast, like in a 1-hour flight.
Yeah.
So I'm familiar to this concept.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't mind if there is a communication gap with, like an Italian or, I don't know, a French person if we can't speak. I don't mind because I grew up in that environment.
Exactly.
So I'm like, okay. I see some people get annoyed, like, why are you here? Why are you in Ireland if you can't speak in English? I see that, but I'm okay with it. But anyway, I mean, it's just fun because in the US, also, I would never go to the Midwest. I'm not living in Tennessee and not doing all that.
Fuck that.
East Coast maybe, and then, but Europe. I think Europeans are very funny too.
Yeah.
There are certain situations, like especially with my passport. I have an Indian passport, but I have a bunch of visas on it now, and everyone's confused. Like even the immigration officers are confused. Like it's so funny. Like I went to Norway, and so they see my passport, and then they're like, "Oh, you have an Irish visa, okay? But then you also have a Schengen visa." Oh, okay. But you also have a valid US visa. But can't you travel for leisure in one or the other visas? And then I'm just looking at him. I'm like, bro, I don't make the rules. Why are you asking me?
I should be asking you.
Yeah.
And then he was so confused. Then he Googled something. Then he asked. So it's really confusing because you have things. And to me, it's very funny because I'm just standing, bro. I'm like, I read things on the website. I follow. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly.
And then because Ireland is EU but not Schengen, Norway is EU but Norway is not EU but Schengen. Switzerland is not EU but Schengen. France is both EU and Schengen. The longest immigration interview or questions I had was at Norway, which is very surprising because Norway, they're very nice people. And then also because I made a mistake. As soon as I got down in Norway, and you can tell Norway has money. As
Yeah.
soon as you go to Norway, these
Money.
these are some rich folks right here. So I go there, and at the airport, there is no noise. There is no chaos. It's quiet. It's silent. And there are an appreciable amount of people there. Because everyone is so well behaved. It's incredible to me. Because I grew up in chaos. You know, like,
Yeah.
I mean, you have to expect certain amount of noise or commotion in an airport. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
So I
like airports are chaos. Like,
Yeah, and I was just looking around, and I'm like, so... And then I went for the National Day, 17th of May, Satnamai, or as they call it. So, and then the immigration officer, because I'm so, like, struck by, Norway is so clean, it's so nice, blah, blah, blah. And then the immigration officer asked me, so what are you here, what's the purpose? I said, tourism, 5 days, Satnamai. I answered like a brainwashed guy. I was a potential threat at that point. Like a dumb person, I just spoke like that.
Like a robot.
Yeah,
like a robot.
as if you learned it all.
I was out of my head because I'm not in that mood to answer questions. The best is French because they're already scared of speaking English.
Yeah.
So there are no questions. Bonjour. Tourism? Oui. Stand? Au revoir. So easy. And they don't give a fuck. Like, they're so nice.
Oh my God, yeah.
But to me, this is very funny.
No, that was funny because I assume like to them it sounded like you learned it off. That you're like tourism.
Exactly. I mean, once I left the immigration thing, then I realized I was a potential threat. That is true.
Am I the problem? I don't think I'm the problem.
Then I went to Portugal. Portugal, they speak English, bro.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, that was a long questioning too.
Yeah, no.
They start asking me address and stuff. Like, because they ask different things and
They
they
do.
themselves are confused. I can tell on their face.
Yeah, even though me and my family have Irish passports, when I went to Lisbon with my family, they still took a long time to look at our passports. And I was just like, just let us go. Like I always say this. It's funny because like when we went to Nicolette and I went to Romania, Romania was actually the place that gave me the most hassle ever with my passport, right? And then I was just there like, do you really think I'm going to leave Ireland to come live in Romania? If I wasn't, like, let's be honest, if I was an illegal immigrant, why am I leaving Ireland to go live in Romania right now?
Sometimes they need to ask the logical questions.
Yeah, just for funsies.
You know? But yeah, no, absolutely. Like, and so in comparison, like, obviously, India is your home and everything. Comparison then America and Europe. Do you see yourself like long term more in Europe or in America? And just like why not? Kind of like what's the thing that would draw you to one more than the other?
I mean, like I said, I'm a customer that gives way too less of a fuck to actually, something that bothers me. I mean, I just go there and I start enjoying. I find my things.
Yeah.
And I just start enjoying the place. And of course, there are fun people or people of your same vibe there. You just need to find them. And I think I have it here now in Dublin. I have enough groups of friends that I can go to and do different things. So I'm settled in Dublin. Like I'm settled here. It's nice and fun. I'd move to France or Italy or try Spain probably. I'm open to all of that. So like it's not like I have this mindset on I want to live here. I really don't want to. I kind of like it if it's a surprise. Like I don't know in 2 years where I'm gonna be, but I mean, what I do know, I'll have my lobster with me.
And that's
that's all that matters. At the end of the day.
That's cute.
That's so cute.
That's cute. That's cute.
I love that.
And then you and your lobster, you more than happy to just keep going wherever she's taking you, or just. One of those things where it's like you're both surprising each other.
But I mean, the first priority is both of us can work in the same country.
Yeah.
But then COVID also, the COVID taught us that we are going to move together. There's no more long distance on the cards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think it's done. I'm done with long distance. I've always had long distance. It's like, like it's written in the stars for some reason.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. But then do you find much of a like culture clash between yourself and your partner due to just the way you've been raised and the way they've been raised, like in Europe?
Not really. It's very surprising. On paper, we should be very different.
Yeah.
And I mean, we look so different. We used to eat different. But it's so similar. It's very surprising. I mean, that's why both of us kind of went out of the way to kind of be with each other. Because it's very surprising. I mean, it's different, but yet so similar.
Similar.
Because we think the same way, and it's very rare to find, you know, like someone else who you don't. I mean, of course, you're gonna argue and you're gonna, you know, fight and you know, have arguments about different things, but when you're with a person, you know whether you guys are on the same boat, you know, or of the same wavelength. Like if you put a situation in front of me, in front of her, we're probably going to give you the same answer. So I think that's what is most important. I mean, looks and all is important, but I mean, it's going to go away one day anyway. So I mean, if you know it's your lobster when you're compatible at all levels, at any level that you can think of, it could be as something as small as what you're going to have for lunch, or you know, which country do you want to live in, or when do you want to meet my parents, or, you know, like from small to the big thing. I mean, we click on stuff in a way that I have never clicked with anybody before. So I think, I mean, that's what I value the most, and I think that's what has brought me to Dublin, and that's what is going to bring me to any other country if I go. But yeah, I mean, it's all about having a good time at the end of the day.
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, in terms of, like, you know, traditional type of relationships, because I know, you know, like in India, right, there's a lot of focus on like traditional roles and the family and stuff like that. How did you find that with your partner?
Yeah, so my family is only traditional about academics. Like if you have done your education properly and if you have a job, you can go out there and live your life. You can even marry someone from Pakistan for all they care. Yeah, I don't know, that might be a bit, I don't know.
You're pushing it here.
Just putting it out there. No, my grandparents were really like, I mean, that's what they said. Like, I mean, they're not alive anymore. I mean, one is, but he didn't say anything. He was the chill one. But the two grandmothers, when they were alive, they actually specifically told me this. But at the time I was so young, I'm like, I mean, how can I choose? Who do I get along with?
Exactly. Like, if you fall in love with someone, you fall in love with someone. There's no ifs, no buts, no nothing.
But then also all my family comes from arranged marriage. I'm breaking that. You're breaking the generational line, and big time.
Yeah, because not just not an arranged marriage, but someone completely from Europe,
different. Yeah, but that's what I mean. So the parents have met, and they have seen what I've been telling them, because I know both sides, and I tell them you're gonna get along because the values are the same. You know what I mean? Like. We look different, we eat different, we live in different places, but
the value is the same, and that's what matters.
The core is the same. So little adjustments here and there can always be made. It's not a deal breaker, you know, like if you don't like my delicacy from France, or if you don't like my delicacy from Lucknow, that I'm not going to talk to you. So it's not like that. So I mean, and we are very lucky to have parents who are very flexible and open-minded. That I think goes a long way. Yeah. Because it's not going to be easy. I mean, you know, cutting off your parents and getting married is, I mean, there's no fun in it. I mean.
Yeah, no, I think especially for people in our type of culture, like India, African culture kind of thing, I think it's very hard for us. Because like, that's one thing I did notice. Like, we've had discussions about this before, where it's like in Europe, it's kind of like, oh, if you really love someone, and so on, like, yeah, just cut your family and stay with that person. But for like an African person, that's like an insane mentality. Even for me, like I got a lot of flack about it before, where I said that, oh, if my parents are not into this girl or whatever, I would probably have to cut the girl out of my life, you know, if I haven't been with her for a long time. And that's just because like it's just a cultural thing. Like I couldn't ever see me being with someone that my parents had a problem with. It would just cause too much issues in my life, and and people were like, oh, just cut them out. I'm like, I just can't cut them out though. That's not how it works.
Yes, that happened to one of my friends. He was dating a girl 2 years older to him. And so the girl was like, oh, you have to get married. So they tried to get the parents involved. And the girl's family was vegetarian and the guy's family was non-vegetarian. And I remember my friend was the guy. He told me, you know, like it became so toxic because you know how moms are sometimes? Or parents are, they would bring up the smallest thing and make it into a big deal. Like my friend's mom was always like, how will you do this? She doesn't eat non-veg. You're not going to cook. I mean, it's going to be okay for a month or two, but what you going to do after? And I mean, things like this. And then it became so toxic that they actually broke up. And they were dating for a really long time. And I know he was really serious about her. And she was with him too. So I always knew the power parents have. You know, unintentionally or intentionally, but indirectly, they can make or break your relationship.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
we are very lucky in that regard.
Yeah.
But do you guys want to know the church story?
Yeah, go. Tell
So
us.
I like this that we're gonna wrap up the show with the church
coming
story,
full
full
circle.
circle. Everyone's been waiting like, how about the goddamn church story?
Yeah, but I'm not part of a church. Well, I am gonna be now because my girlfriend's Catholic, so I think I'm gonna be.
Oh.
Okay, come on, tell us the church story. They're dying.
So
to
sorry,
hear it.
mom. Finally, I did end up in a church. I mean, there are two ways about it. Yeah, so my mom is scared because she saw this family friend go get married, have a kid. Like she has given herself to Jesus.
Yeah.
Gone all the way. She probably got baptized or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. So that's what my mom has. So anyway, so this is Thanksgiving. First Thanksgiving. We go to LA in September, and I think Thanksgiving is somewhere down the line.
Yeah, November.
is it?
November. or
Yeah,
something.
November. And then I had a lot of Korean friends, like all girls at the time. And the group that got together was 10 Korean girls and me.
Yeah.
Me. In a
Crazy.
van, in a church van.
In a church van.
Yes. Because we were being driven to the church. I didn't know it was a church. Like one of my friends told me, "Oh, you want free food?" Yeah.
Okay.
Who doesn't?
Say
What
less.
college student doesn't want
Yeah.
free food?
And then actually all of us were going for the free food.
Okay.
Some of them did go to a church, but then we also had like Catholic Asian churches. But this wasn't it. This was like wide church.
Yeah.
So we went there. And then I'm in my North Indian vibe. I'm in my college and I'm not thinking anything. I'm just socializing, having fun. So I went to the church and it was so nice. It was super nice. They had like a bonfire going. They had some games. I was so social. I talked to everybody. I ate the food. Food was amazing. Turkey, mashed potatoes, some veggies and stuff. It was really good, like high quality food. And I spoke to the pastor and that's how you say it, pastor?
Yeah, pastor. Yeah.
So pastor, and then I spoke to some families were there, uncle, like uncle aunts, like older people. I spoke to them. I spoke to the driver who was also part of the church. Played games, and it was a very nice, warm environment. I felt really welcome, and it was very nice. It was a very warm environment. I didn't think much about it. And then the van dropped us home, and everything is fine. And then I see the guy from the van called me 1 or 2 days later. I didn't pick up because I'm like, no free food.
No free food.
No free food,
Not
no
seeing
chat.
me, no
Bye bye. So I'm like, I don't want to pick up your call. And then there was this one uncle I had spoken to for the longest. He's calling me. I didn't even know how he got my number.
Wow.
And then he's calling me. And then I pick up, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm from the church." That's how I know he's the uncle, because he told me. And then I'm like, "Oh, I'm in a class. Can I call you later?" Because I'm like, "Stop bothering me, bro. What do you want
Blocks
from me?"
number.
Yeah, exactly.
And then 2-3 times. Then the driver called me 3, 4, 5 times missed call.
Oh my god.
And I see the number. Then the uncle is calling me 2, 3, 4. That's when I started retrospecting. I started thinking, okay, so what happened? Let me just recollect.
Yeah.
So what happened was, we were 11 people total. 10 Korean girls, 1 Indian guy. The Korean girls are all exchange students. They're going to leave LA in 6 months, 1 year. But I was there to work. I was there to stay. And I told every honest detail about my life to everybody. So they knew. So I was the natural recruit out of those 11 people.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when I realized. And then I see all these people. The driver became my crazy ex, bro. Like he started calling me like crazy. And then what happened was that I remembered the uncle had invited me to his house for a dinner. With his wife. And then he knows he's a young guy. So he told me that, I have a daughter about the same age and she plays and stuff, and she has a friend too, she'll be there too. Just like put it on the side.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know whether I'm gay or straight. He doesn't know. But he just very cleverly
just little
put it on the side.
Nibble to attract you.
Because I have told him everything about my life. So he knows I'm new.
Yeah.
I probably don't know a lot of people. And if I'm into girls, then like at least I can speak,
Give yourself
make
to Jesus,
new friends.
both of you.
Yeah. And then I told my mom about it. My mom freaked out. Oh no, this is it. This is my son gone.
The brainwashing has begun.
He's gone. Like he's like, no, you will not get into a car with a strange man, and that too from a church. No. So then I didn't go. But that was a funny story, because it wasn't funny at the moment, because it happened over a period of time.
Yeah.
But it was just funny. I mean, now that I think about it, that was a proper recruitment drive.
Yeah.
That was a recruitment
But
van.
sure, you're getting recruited now anyway, so.
Well, yeah. But it's just funny because it's like, because in my head I'm thinking, because I spoke to them but I can tell it's just one evening of interaction, so they don't know much about me.
Yeah.
But it's like I give way too less of a fuck to tip or to give myself to Jesus. Like, I'm not the right target market. Like, Americans need to realize and analyze that it's okay. We are cheap. We accept it. We don't even deny it. Sometimes I feel like even if I'm a millionaire, I'm still going to tip like 4 or 5.
Amen to that.
Amen.
I'm the same. I'm the absolute same. No, that's actually insane. Like that. Like, but the thing is, like, churches are very, like, especially in America, they're very like, we're gonna convert you. Like, you know, conversion is a big thing. Don't kill me out there, but like, yeah, no, like, conversion.
They're coming
is a big
after
thing.
us next.
Yeah, especially like in those like very big holistic churches, conversion is a big thing. Like, I have stories of people I know who have like been put into situations where they've been converted into things, and they actually go out for college students a lot with the whole free food thing. You get them to come in and you have them talk to.
I mean,
the
they have
kids,
good marketing
you know.
tactics.
Obviously, like they know what they're doing. They've been doing this for years, many hundreds of years. They've been doing this for years. So like,
And it works.
Yeah, it works.
It worked with my friend. I'll tell you that.
Exactly.
So no, it's very interesting.
You've had a very interesting life experience, honestly. So we're really happy that you decided to come on and share with us and our followers. You know, because it's a very interesting perspective that you don't get every single day. So
Before we wrap up, give us one tip you would give to anybody who wants to go to any of the 3 places you've been: India, America, and Ireland.
Oh, well,
One tip for each
I mean,
one.
there is no tip really. I mean, the biggest tip would be just be yourself and make mistakes.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the people who are gonna stick with you are gonna stick with you anyway, and that's how you know they are your people. So you make mistakes, you be yourself, and put the walls down, I would say. I mean, to both parties. I mean, you know,
I
like
that.
Americans, Europeans, because, you know, not everyone is bad or creepy or is going to relate to a past experience that you have.
Yeah, exactly.
So give them a chance. Give them an extended chance, I would say. So, you know, just be open up and less of filters and meshes, and, you know, just be open and don't be like a robot. Don't be a robot. Hi, hello.
like you were in
How are
Norway.
you? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's okay having both perspectives. Do we have time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so an example about guns.
Guns.
Yes.
Put it out there.
2, because I see Europe, I see US. In the US, all my friends in Portland, they all at least had a Glock, like a handgun, and they all had guns. When my girlfriend was over, one of my ex-army friends, he took a shooting in a mountain ranges in the Washington, and we did a photo session with it, and we put it on Instagram. It's on my Instagram.
Yeah.
And you know how, and of course my girlfriend also posted her, and you know how girls are on Instagram, how they appreciate posts, like, my God, girls, stop, slay. You
Fire,
know?
fire, fire.
Fire.
Fire emoji.
Heart
heart
on her.
emoji.
I mean, it's cute. It's nice. So I was expecting all of, or something of those sorts, you know, like her friends texting or liking her picture or commenting on it. Like it's usual, because it's usual for her. Well, not on my profile, but on hers at least. So I was expecting that, but the usual people didn't even like them. And so what happened was, I think, like, all the Frenchies were traumatized by seeing that.
By seeing the guns.
Because I understand, because from their perspective, I can see the gun. When they see a gun, they relate it to, you know, like violence in like Paris and stuff. I mean, which is horrible. I mean, but I get it. But yeah, and then we have the American side. They're okay. They're kind of okay in showing off their gun and firepower.
They're proud of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very, how do you say which is right, which is wrong? I mean, if you have a gun, then you know it's not right. I mean, but then you don't know. It's like 2 ways of life, and it's a way of life there.
Yeah,
like
it's
having a gun is a
different.
way of life. So it's like, you know, you're questioning their way of life, they question your way of life. But I'm just saying, like, when you hit like an impasse like this, to me, like, this is an impasse.
Yeah.
You know, because you think you are right, they think they're right.
Exactly.
And we Indians are in the middle. I'm like, you are right, and you are right too. Both of them are right. But yeah, but this is what I'm saying with filters and stuff. Like, if you have an open dialogue about, you know, like discussion with this, and then maybe try and get to a common ground, so that Because I've seen these discussions happen when people are just like, they stop talking to them and stop being friends with them just because of one disagreement.
Yeah.
So just getting over that wall, like as fast as possible, not like in 4 or 5 months, just in 2 meetings, 3 meetings, if you can, because I have done that with people, especially my American friends. We became friends like this.
Like that, yeah.
Here it's more time, but it's still okay. I mean, once you make friends here, they're very good. But if you can like expedite that process a little bit, maybe
That'd be really good.
that'd be
really
really
appreciate
cool.
it.
But no walls, please. No.
Yeah, I would also like
boundaries.
to advise people not have walls, because I too struggle despite being a white girl here.
Yeah.
No boundaries and no passports, please. What the fuck? What's up with these
up with that?
passports?
What's up with borders, bro? What's up with that?
If you all got an extra one, give me one. Tired of these visas, bro.
I bet. No, but thank you for coming on. Really appreciate you having on and sharing your experience, unique experience with us and with the rest of all the people who are watching this. And hopefully, they enjoyed it and they don't be mean. Don't worry about any of the mean comments. There are lots of mean people on the internet. They love to be mean to us about stupid things as well. But so just like the good ones.
I like the mean ones too.
Yeah,
I embrace it. It's not the first time.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me on Daytime
Daytime
Podcast.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff.
All
Till
right.
next time.
Peace.